This is the limestone lowdown. Hear the sound when you lie to the issues all around. From every corner, let's make it clear. The change we need is starting here.
Hi everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Limestone Lowdown. Today we're going to talk about the October,
27th.
2025 City Council meeting.
Yeah. It was actually a long one.
It was.
So this is...
Oh, hold on a second. Before we get really started, I would like to acknowledge that we are now international podcasters, that there are 12 different countries that have listened to our podcast and 166 different cities within the United States.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
It is crazy.
That would not have been on my bingo card to be an international podcaster about local Limestone County politics.
Well, and just to, basically we do this for journaling purposes, you know what I mean? Just to kind of track where things have been going within the city and kind of, because it's been hard to keep up with for the last 14 months. But yeah, I think it was, our first international was Germany or something? And
correct.
We were like, are they wanting to listen to our southern drawl? Like,
yes, is this helping them learn English or something? I don't know.
But then
but they've listened
to every single.
Hey Germany, you've listened to every episode. So
hey,
you're right there with us.
We've got a few. What is it? 2 Germans that listen. Yeah,
yes.
And then our most recent has been Japan.
Yes, Tokyo.
Yeah. So, shout out to our international listeners. Thanks for listening. And then obviously always to all of our local people. The numbers grow every day. So, So this was. Mr. Lucas was at a training
at Tarkov. He's a representative for that.
So he was not there. Mr. Harper was the fill-in president, and this was Mr. Wells and Mr. Harper. This was their last city council meeting. Mm-hmm. So they had, I guess, a little get-together before the business meeting, celebrating them. Their wives were there, and they both their wives were in attendance. We actually had a huge turnout, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was crowded.
Something was cooking?
No, I think that...
Italian?
Yes. So, just a little bit of backstory before we dive in. Jared and I went to Walgreens. I was picking up something for my kids, and I was at the checkout counter, and we frequent going to get coffee from High Plain regularly, several times a week, and we usually will pick up one of the Athens News Couriers in there and kind of flip through while we're waiting on my order, but we hadn't been in there this particular week, and I got back in the car, and I was like, hey, look through here and see if there's anything good in here. And as we're driving, way deep in the classifieds, he sees, lo and behold, this Olive Garden. And I was like, what? And the first thing I said was, how much are they getting an abatement? Wasn't it? And you started reading it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post that on my personal Facebook. That seems to be the way. And again, it's not ever to bring negative light to the city. It's more just like awareness. Like, hey, this is in that. And again, the agendas say that this is the largest news outlet, like, I guess, to get information out in the city, which I find that funny. That's also in the meeting minutes within these resolutions, that's the way that they choose to advertise these types of things, because they, by law, or like I guess per code, they have to advertise it for like 7 days prior to. And so I was like, hey, everybody, like, Olive Garden's coming to Athens. They're getting a $600,000 tax abatement. And again, they give the bare minimum type of information. And it's still, I mean, it was the $600,000 tax stuff. So
yes. And that's just that's a lot.
Well, see, Jared and I have differences of opinions on this.
Well, I'm just saying it's a lot, as in the question, though, has become, is it going to the business or is it going to the developer? Because we've noticed a lot of that.
Well, and so
you asked for clarification on that.
and we'll get to that, but I think that, like, Jared's thing is like no abatements, no abatements, no abatements, where I can kind of see how, like, okay, it brings in, it helps bring in and incentivize, but then what did we figure out this week after we started diving in?
Going to the developers?
No,
What
I'm
else?
talking back to the 2018 to the Panera.
Oh, that there's been a definite change on the council's views on abatements and not.
Right, yeah, so...
And I would like to clarify, I'm not against abatements. I am of the opinion that they should be more selective about the abatements, and that we should just be aware that it's not one abatement. It's the fact of every time one falls off, it's already been replaced by two. And by the time this 6 years is up, how many more abatements are on top of that? So when are we as citizens actually going to see the money in the community to help our city? Mm-hmm. So it's not, I'm against abatements. I just think it should be a little bit more selective. I think it should be a little bit fair across the board. There should be like a standardized. And I think seeing the abatements go to the developer and not the company, it's like the company wants to be here. They don't need the development. Cut out the middleman.
Yeah, and if you look at like the last few, the developers are getting a significantly larger chunk than the businesses. And even some cases, like the businesses aren't getting any type of abatement. Mm-hmm. that it's... the abatement is going to the developer, and the business isn't getting that tax break at all. And, we only have like a 3-cent sales tax that stays in Athens City, and half of that at 1.5% is education, and you cannot abate that amount. So you're only talking about 1.5 cents, and it's really less than that, but just for basic math purposes. So to pay back that amount of money does take a long time. And so by the time that one drops off, how many more have we picked up in place of that? So, yeah, so it's just, so we saw that, and then we shared that information, and I think someone shared it in like over 300, it got shared over 300 times, their personal post, and it caused a lot of people to show up. I think in support of the city, and then there was people that were also in support of them. So it's almost like, what's going to happen? I mean, it's just kind of comical at this point. You can almost name the players that are going to show up.
It's the same ones.
Yeah. So
and it's like they sit like right there with us. It's like, are you trying to intimidate us or something? Haven't you seen that doesn't work? Yeah. Like we just come back stronger.
Yeah. So Mr. Wells, Mr. Harper, this was their last city council meeting. Mr. Wells has been in office since 2004. He actually got elected in
21 years.
With Ronnie Marks, when Ronnie Marks got voted into the council back then. And then Wayne Harper was 2012. He came in with Chris Seibert, same time. And he was the chief of police before. So Mr. Harper has been fairly quiet this last year. He's not said a whole lot. I don't know that I've actually heard him vote no on an agenda item yet or really question anything. He's kind of gotten a little heated with Mark when Mark talks about like North Athens and stuff like that, but not in a good or bad way. I'm just saying, Mark gets very passionate about certain things and goes off on tangents. So they were very sweet in their speech that they gave. It was kind of funny. I don't know if we'll go through the thing and then we'll talk about that after. So just to kind of dive in, there was a public hearing related to a proposed ordinance to annex 3.66 acres of property located directly north of Huntsville Browns Ferry Road and directly west of 72. This was one that they had already annexed in, hadn't they?
Yes, this was just a rezone.
Yeah, okay. Well, so public hearing number 1, it says the ordinance to annex.
Yes, but that's what they did clarification about. That
okay.
That he said, Mark said no, it was just a disregard that.
So if y'all don't remember, this was the property that a couple, I don't know if it was last city council meeting or the one before that, where Ronnie Marks even said, I don't want to I don't want to tell the good news, basically, because they changed it to business development, right?
Yes.
So if you look up
Who owns it?
it is owned by Justin Haddock, that LLC is, who is the owner of Bojangles and the Valvoline here in Athens. So, again, I want to caveat, I've never talked to him a day in my life. I don't know him. I wouldn't know him if I talked to him.
We're just speculating.
We're just speculating. It's very easy to go look up who owns an LLC, and it's registered to his name, and I know that he is the owner of the Bojangles after reading all of the articles with the Panera.
So, potential spoiler.
So,
there
yeah.
could be a Bojangles coming to the
Maybe.
interchange right
Well,
there.
because, I mean, he is in the Bojangles business.
Yes.
And so, because he opened the first one in the state of Alabama, and now he's opened several across North
It would
Alabama.
be really easy to hop off the interstate and hit that and hop back on.
So, Jared...
Or for those of us that work in Decatur and not having to go to Huntsville the other way, it's great. It'll be great for me.
Well, and Jared loves Bojangles.
Well, they have the best biscuits.
He loves Bojangles. So either it's going to be a Bojangles or another Valvoline. I don't know.
Or it could be both. Yeah, who knows?
But
again, this is just our speculation based off who owns it and everything else like that. We do
have
not have anything concrete.
And I assure you, I do not have any insider information, because the mayor nor anybody in the city is going to tell me anything. That's just my speculation after looking up the LLC. Bill Ming is the commercial developer. If it is Bojangles, it's going to be interesting to see if the city allows them to have a tax abatement this time, because he was one of the ones about Panera, like, hey, we did not get a tax abatement.
Exactly.
And they chose to come to Athens, but Buffalo Wild Wings
not
got
only
one.
come to Athens, but they were the first
in the whole
Bojangles
state. In the whole state. And that Buffalo Wild Wings, Marco's, Osborne's, Publix, well, at this point, because those were the older ones that got one, but now it has just become a thing that everyone gets abatement. So it's going to be interesting to see what he opens there, and if the city allows him to have a tax abatement on that. So that was that public hearing related to rezoning 1.52 acres of property for Harry Fred Leonard Jr., Nancy K. McBay, and Benji McBay from low density single family residential to B2 General Business District, property located directly north of Highway 72, directly west of Sweetland Road.
And we know what this is going to be because they were there, the ones that purchased or going to purchase this property. They're going to put in a vet's office. So we had 2 veterinarians there that were just excited.
They were very, very excited.
Open their a new vet's office here at Athens.
The family who was selling it, they said that they were from Elkmont. Or I think they said Oakmont, right?
Oh, I don't remember.
And they said that their family had this property, had been in their family for generations, and they knew that, seeing the way that Athens was growing, and then seeing like the 2040 plan, that it was going to become a business district anyway. And so they already, and then they already had somebody that wanted to put the vet there. So both of them spoke for it. So yes, that's exciting. And then there is a public hearing proposed ordinance to rezone plus or minus 4.48 acres of property for Ruth Ann Barksdale, Emily Simmons, and Keith Rowe from estate, residential, and agriculture to R1-1, low density single family, located at Cambridge Lane and 14399 and 14297 Cambridge Lane. So we know what that's going to go to.
What's that?
Well, low density single family residential. A whole bunch of cookie cutter houses. I don't think anybody spoke for or against that one, did they? So that was our public hearings. And then we'll go into the consent calendar. Resolution to approve travel expenses for fire department, $166. Resolution to approve travel expenses for $3,300 for personnel for the water services. Resolution to approve travel expenses in the total of $543.28 for personnel for the electric department. Resolution to approve the purchase of replacement for computers accessories during the fiscal year 2026 from TSA through the state of Alabama contracts on an as-needed basis, not to exceed $47,000. Resolution to set a public hearing for the regular meeting on November 24th, 2025 to consider the request of Athens GCD LLC and DFO Athens Investment to rezone 2.2 acres located directly south of Huntsville Browns Ferry and directly west of Saturn Drive. So this particular one is going from general business district to conventional plan unit development within the corporate limits of the city of Athens. So these are just random LLCs. Well, they're not random. Whoever's behind them, they've got something planned for them because it's easily traceable looking up these LLC owners. But what do you think that means? Conventional plan unit development. So it looks like it could be used for plenty of stuff. So plan unit development, community potentially, which that's conventional plan unit development. So yeah. So
Look at that.
Could be used for a multitude of things, whether it be for housing or business buildings, but it's going from business. Anyways, it's going to be interesting to see how, what that's going to be. So the public hearing is for November 24th. Resolution to set a public hearing for, to consider a request of Milton George II to rezone 2.3 acres of property located directly north of Highway 72, directly west of Line Road, from estate residential and agriculture to general business within the city of Athens. Then we've got resolution to set a public hearing for the regular meeting for November 24th to consider the request of Wade Hayes to adopt a master development plan and rezone plus or minus 18 acres of property directly south of Elm Street West and Hines Street from low density residential to multi-family residential within the corporate city. So that's apartments. Yep.
We know what that is.
And that's 18 acres. Wow.
On Elm Street.
So, yeah, interesting. So one of the things that we've seen, so here's another one, resolution to approve a major amendment to a master development plan to include R-1-4 single-family duplex attached residential district zoning within a restriction only allowing construction of a single-family resident and 10 additional lots for Whisper Woods. So interesting enough for this, Aaron Tidwell gets up and says that the Planning Commission's done this, we approve it, we support it. But there are ones that we have found that never went in front of the Planning Commission. It was just petitioned to the city.
Correct.
And the city just passed it.
Mm-hmm.
And it even says it, even in the meeting minutes that the owner petitioned the city. But the way that we've seen it is that it has to go in front of the Planning Commission first.
Correct.
And we've even heard the Planning Commission say, we don't
support this.
Yeah, we do not support this. So, I don't know. I just found that interesting. And then there was a resolution to approve a retail beer and wine off-premises only alcohol license for Limestone Grocery, which there was a change of ownership. So, I guess the one on 31, we did that a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So, they changed ownership there.
And then we had an addition. Mm-hmm. And it was for the Athens Food and Wine Festival. It's going to be Little Mazzaro's is going to be putting that on at the Athens Farmers Market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I'm excited about that to get to go.
Look at that.
So then we go into our regular meeting. Ordinance renewing a non-exclusive franchise to Knology Inc. concerning a cable television system and consenting to transfer of control. Resolution authorizing an unbudgeted amount of $85,647.50 to be funded from the Water Services Department Capital Infrastructure Fund for a contract with Grayson Carter & Sons to construct the sanitary sewer extension to the area South Jefferson Street for a potential development project.
So they said that would be reimbursed to the city. So that 85, when the developer does whatever they do, their thing, then that $85,000 will be reimbursed to the city. The city's fronting it up. The city's paying Grayson Carter & Son to do it right now. But once the development or whatever the project's going to be, then whoever will reimburse the city that $85,000.
Whoever does the project.
Correct.
I got you.
Yep.
And resolution authorizing the city engineer to enter an agreement with Morrell Engineering for geotechnical exploration and civil state revisions to Sunrise Park Phase 2 plans at a cost not to exceed $12,000 to be
Let's talk about
funded.
that for a second.
Okay.
It's funny that geotechnical expiration, that this is the second meeting in a row we've seen that. And our understanding, and one of our listeners emailed us and said that that's something that's very, happens all the time or whatever.
It's very
It was
common.
just funny that we haven't seen that until the past 2 city council meetings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not here to say yes or no on that. I just thought it was funny that we see that two city councils in the meeting now.
You know who would be the two people to ask about that would be Kelly Range and Scott Marshall, because Billy Cannon, he actually goes to a lot of city council meetings too. We've only been there since last August, so I mean, still we've been 30 in a row.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, like, and we appreciate the listener. They gave us some really good information, letting us know some information about that.
It was just funny. It's one of those words that stick out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I haven't seen that before. And they're like, oh, no, it's pretty common. It's like, okay. And then we see it again the next.
And then we kind of did a little bit more. And again, even what we said, it wasn't like we didn't say anything bad. Yeah. It was just conversation
like,
there.
Okay.
Resolution to adopt and revise org charts for the police department. So all in all, we are getting 5 new police officers. Mm-hmm. We're bringing our numbers from 55 to 60. So I think Chris Seibert actually said, like, as we're growing, our numbers for officers are increasing too. They didn't list the specific new other positions aside from the officers, but apparently there's going to be a bunch of new positions. So glad to see that we are getting some new, because I know that's been a concern for people as that we've grown, is that we need more first responders. And then our next one is resolution to adopt an org chart for the cemetery, parks, and recs department. And then a resolution to revise the org chart for the fire department. And this was kind of the same thing. They're getting 6 new positions, 3 firefighters and 3 lieutenants. So resolution regarding the purchase of real property on Highway 31 for a purchase of $2,200,000 with intentions to utilize the property for municipal purposes.
So that is 11.2 acres, and for the locals, that's the old Trigreen building.
Okay.
That when Trigreen moved out, they moved out past Tanner. Mm-hmm. They have a brand new building out that way with more room.
So I wonder what we're putting there.
I wonder. So they didn't say.
It says municipal
purposes.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. That can mean a lot of different things, I guess.
Yeah. So then we've got resolution regarding the purchase of real property on Highway 72 West for a purchase price of $265,000 with intentions to utilize the property for municipal purposes, and more specifically related to the operation of the Athens Electric Department.
So that's going to be a substation.
Yeah.
So we do know that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, see, I was wondering if they're going to move one of our other, like, headquarters off of, like, the old Trigreen. No, like another fire department, or
could be.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's 11 acres.
Yeah.
You could put a fire department. You could put a police station. You could put a pool.
Oh.
Who knows? All kind of stuff.
You think that's what it's for, a pool?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's 11 acres and the city just bought it. So, I mean, you could put all kind of... It'd be a great place for it.
Yeah, it would be.
The land's pretty flat. And
well, it's a great location. It connects to Buc-ee's. It connects into Athens. Not connect to Buc-ee's. I'm just saying it's easily accessible. It's not like you have to come, like, all the way into town. Like our rec center, which I guess it's right off 65. But this kind of... I mean, it's right here into town.
Yes.
So, and then...
The next one is pretty interesting.
Go ahead.
Resolution proposing amendments to the zoning ordinance concerning food trucks and other mobile food units with intention to impose reasonable restrictions to locate in the use of food trucks and other mobile food units.
Oh, yeah.
So this came up when the guy posted on one of the What's Happening in Athens pages about the mobile tools.
Oh, yeah.
How they were going to stop that. And then they even mentioned that they were not going to stop that, that this was just talking, saying they wanted to make it less restrictive. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting, the whole process that you have to go through to get a food truck license.
Yeah.
Because you got to get like licensed through the county health department. You have to get special permits to operate within the city. And then there's special locations within the city that only you can operate in.
But that's only if they're watching for you.
Correct. Apparently, after hours or on the weekends, it's kind of like the Wild West.
But they have went out and like somewhat served or reported people after hours and on the weekends.
Well, if you're certain people,
well, yeah.
they go after certain people.
But this should...
It should clear that up.
But it should kind of give it more flexibility, right?
This Shane Black, and I wrote it down here, says it's less restrictive.
Okay.
So take that how you will. He said it would be less restrictive.
He said this during the business meeting, and I wasn't there for that. So
yes.
Okay.
But you say right there, I say it. Less restrictive.
And then we had the next one is pulled.
Yeah, the next one's pulled.
And then we go into T&U, resolution approving an economic development project relating to Olive Garden Holdings, LLC, in which the city would annually pay the company in arrears 100% of the proceeds for the city's sales tax actually received by the city from the project. Net of certain costs for a period of 6 years or until $600,000 is paid by the city to the company, whichever is first.
Look at that.
So then the next one is ordinance concerning an economic development project related to Olive Garden Holdings, LLC, allowing for the mayor payment of certain municipal taxes to proceed to the company. So let's go into like when people got up and spoke for agenda items. So I got up because of this like recent stuff that Jared and I have kind of been diving into with talking about abatements and actually coming to find out that a lot of times over the last 5 years, the majority of those abatements are going to the developer, right? Like that we said, the developer versus the actual business. And so, look, I've been going to these things long enough. These people don't give two rips what I say because their decision's already made. This is just formality of, hitting the gavel saying it's done. But I did want to get clarification. I'm not a huge fan of Olive Garden. I don't even want to turn it around and say we've got we got two local business and two local Italian restaurants here, Terra Nova's and Little Mazzaras that you can, shop local. I'm not even going to say that. What I will say is that back in 2018 that Joseph Cannon, who is now our licensing commissioner, said that even back then, if they want to come here, then they should not get any kind of incentive. And I agree with that because not to say you should eat at one restaurant over the other, but we have two local Italian restaurants that came here and got nothing. They got no incentive, they got no abatement, and they got no facade grant.
And Terra Nova's chose us twice.
Right. Their landlord chose not to renew their lease, and they moved shop, or they closed up shop, closed down for like 2 years, and then now are over on 31. And so they know, and we've actually talked to the owner, not in this capacity. Please don't go attack him. And by attack, I don't mean like physically attack. I mean like go berate him. He has not talked to us. He has no idea who we are. We were at a group dinner, and there were several of us, and people were just welcoming him back into town. And he just said, Athens is like got such wonderful people here. Like I love being here. And so again, like Jared said, he chose Athens not once but twice. And so I got up and asked, like, are we actually paying this to Olive Garden, or is this going to the developer? And even as I'm reading this, it's still making me question. I've emailed the city clerk and the mayor's secretary asking for this actual resolution that's going to go into the meeting minutes, because when it's saying resolution approving an economic development project related to Olive Garden Holdings, LLC, in which the city would annually pay the company in arrears 100% of the proceeds from the city's sales tax received by the city for the project.
But hold on, stop. When it says company, it has also meant the company as in the development company in the past. But so that's why you asked that question.
And then then it says paid for the project. So it's like usually in those instances, the company is the developer, the project is the business. So for instance, Five Guys, or Texas Roadhouse, right?
Seven Brew.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse and Seven Brew. It says the companies. The companies are the LLC that developed those. And then the project is Texas Roadhouse and Seven Brew. And we're actually paying the company. So that's the way this reads. So it just is kind of hinky on the wording. But it is on record that Shane Black did say that this is going to Olive Garden LLCs. And when I looked it up, it appears that it's still an Olive Garden. It's registered out of Florida. So we will see. But
that's what led to Scott Marshall saying he looked up the numbers or was it Billy Cannon that looked up the numbers?
I think it was Billy Cannon.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy
Cannon.
Talk
about him first.
So is Shane, that was all that I said. I think I was up there maybe 90 seconds.
Correct, yeah.
I don't think the mayor was like rocking in his chair whenever I got up there.
He's scared of you.
It's just funny to me. But then Billy Cannon got up and so just to kind of caveat a little bit, when Harold Wells was giving his, because they go through their line saying, hey, do you have anything to say? And Harold Wells said that he had a lot of people reach out to him and did not want him to vote for this. And he went on and on about how much he supported this and how we need to bring business here and how, you can't go anywhere and get a good steak. I'm sure he's referencing Texas Roadhouse. And Billy Cannon got up and was like, there are places here to get a good steak. And I just saw you there a couple weeks ago. Don't forget that. And, Billy Cannon was in support of Olive Garden coming here. His son is Joseph Cannon and was like, if they want to be here, they'll be here.
Exactly.
And, Scott Marshall, even though that we have different views on leadership, I can always respect that him and I see things the same way. We always are asking the same thing. Can we please have more information on this? Because he even said, even said, if you would have put more information in this agenda, these questions wouldn't even have to get asked.
Exactly.
Because you could have already included the resolution versus just saying an agenda item concerning the Olive Garden. It's got all the questions. Scott Marshall also said it. I think $600,000 is a lot of money to be paying.
To a $1 billion company.
To be paying for a $1 billion corporation.
Didn't you say billion? Mm-hmm. I think you did say billion.
Yeah. So there were the three of us that spoke. I didn't speak for it or against it. I just wanted clarification. And they weren't really for or against it either. They were just saying that it was too much. And so then we get to the actual vote. And, respectfully and surprisingly, Mr. Harper voted no on it.
I know.
I was
pleasantly surprised.
Again, we were not there to cause a stink to make them, because we know, obviously there was not going to be a chance in heck that they were going to vote this down.
No.
We knew that this wasn't going to happen. But I think that Harold Wells would have honestly voted no too had he not give his speech up front.
I think that he would have voted no if Mr. Lucas had been there and it had been a 3-2 vote, versus if he had voted no against it, it would have been a tie 2-2 vote. Quite frankly, that's how I felt.
You could
again, my personal opinion, but that's how I felt.
But yeah, I can respect Mr. Harper for voting no on that, because I don't think that they need it. Is it a way is that an incentive that brought them here? Possibly.
I think it would have turned out the same way as Panera. They would have came anyway.
Absolutely. And they would have been successful. The Olive Garden, it's going to be right off 65.
Right off the interstate.
Yeah. So anyways, so that was the end of our stuff. We had a couple public comments. One was Mr. Justin got up and speaking about the pool. He was talking about that they were in Boaz and how many people that they had compete and how this is a growing sport, and then how it is, used for exercise too for people. And I think that actually is a really good spot for a pool. Maybe that's what they're planning to do. Municipal purposes.
Hey, we're speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
And
hold them to it.
Exactly. And speaking of holding it to them, let's talk about the last one. Our friend Mr. Tim got up and asked again about what's going on at the rec center.
Yeah, I know.
And he got another, my opinion, BS answer. It's like, I don't know how to, let's kind of spell it out. that if there's publicly accused theft involved in something, a statement has to be released. Again, we understand you cannot release the name or anything else like that, but a statement saying there has been a suspected theft at the rec center, it has been passed on to authorities outside this county, is currently under investigation. That's all you got to do.
Well, and I don't even think that there's been an arrest made for it. I think that it's something that they plan to sweep under the rug. Tim hasn't been there for a few meetings. I did ask about it at the last meeting. Tim's not even asking who it is. He's just asking to give, or is this in fact true? And I guess they've admitted that is in fact true, but they are doubling down. They are not going to give us any information. And I guess that...
What's funny, I mean, we still have the video of it where Ronnie Marks said the matter was settled, and then, Shane Black stroking out saying, no.
Well, because if it's settled, they have to give you information, right?
Exactly. So we're still going to be on that. And that also goes back to our anonymous letter. Otherwise, we would have not known anything about it because it's been so hush-hush.
Yep. And so that's a thanks for whoever sent that. We will keep asking, and hopefully we can bring some of this information to light. I know there's quite a few of y'all on here that already know, but for those of you in other cities or wherever, maybe you're here in Athens too and you don't know about it, we have launched our website. It's been a labor of love. We have, considering that Jared and I both work full time and have kids, we've been working on it for a while. Young kids. So we have been working on this for a while, like in our free time. But it is finally out. So
not only do we do this podcast, but now there's articles at the limestonelowdown.com.
Yeah, just so that we can kind of use that as an opportunity to break down numbers for you. Read it so that you can have it, reference back to it. It's, information that we have used from public records requests. Mind you, we've paid hundreds, if not close to thousands, for public records at this point. And then, diving into city council meetings, old published articles. 19 News was there last night. I'm guessing it was for the Harold Wells and Wayne Harper, but they won't ever cover anything about that employee at the rec center,
well,
right?
No.
So check us out, the Limestone Lowdown at yahoo.com.
Yes.
The Limestone Lowdown at yahoo.com.
For email. Then the limestonelowdown.com for all your other needs.
Yes, the limestonelowdown.com. And then on there's a contact us. It's a way I think you can anonymously contact us to give us any sort of information. So,
Keep those anonymous tips coming. We love them.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys for listening and for all of our new folks. So till next time, guys, see you later.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Limestone Lowdown, where we break down the issues, keep you informed, and give you facts straight from the source. Remember, your voice matters. Your vote counts, and your community thrives when we stay engaged. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay involved. Until next time, keep questioning, keep advocating, and keep shaping the future of the Limestone area. We'll see you on the next Limestone Lowdown.